Walk into any garden center, hydroponic shop, or massive agricultural supply store today, and you are almost guaranteed to walk past rows upon rows of heavy jugs filled with this incredibly dark, thick liquid. It's heavily marketed to everyday home gardeners and massive commercial farmers alike as this sort of black liquid magic. The claims plastered across these bottles are honestly nothing short of extraordinary. We're talking about promises of doubling root growth, unlocking hidden nutrients trapped in the soil, and fortifying your plants against severe environmental drought. But as you've probably noticed, as the hype around this product has exploded, so has the controversy. So you might be wondering, is this dark liquid actually doing something measurable at the molecular level in our soils, or is it just another massively overpriced agricultural fad designed to empty your wallet? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we are launching a deeply scientific, objective investigation into humic acid. We're going to completely ignore the marketing fluff, the flashy, colorful labels, and the wild anecdotal claims you see online. Instead, we are going to look strictly at the peer-reviewed soil science, the hardcore biochemistry, and the actual boots-on-the-ground agronomic data.
Now look, it is completely natural, and honestly highly recommended, to look at these heavily marketed commercial products with a massive dose of healthy skepticism. In fact, as a senior soil biochemist, I actively encourage that exact skepticism. The agricultural and gardening industry is notoriously flooded with these supposed miracle cures and literal snake oil products that promise absolutely everything but deliver nothing but a lighter wallet. That is exactly why I'm here with you today. My role in this explainer is to act as your completely objective, deeply nerdy guide through the highly complex, often misunderstood world of biostimulants. We are going to uncover the hard, scientific truth about humic acid. We'll dissect exactly what it actually is, how it physically functions inside the complex soil matrix, and most importantly, we are going to break down exactly when applying it is an absolute game changer for your crop's yield, and when buying it is literally just pouring your hard-earned money straight down the drain.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our exact roadmap for today's mini masterclass. We are going to start by solving the humic acid mystery, then clarify exactly why it is not a fertilizer. After that, we'll explore its incredible role as a soil nutrient magnet, before moving down to the microscopic level with cellular activation and stress mitigation. Finally, we'll run through the ROI matrix to see if it makes financial sense for you, and we'll wrap up by exposing some incredibly common application myths and massive mistakes that growers make every single day.
Section 1. The humic acid mystery. Let's trace this strange dark liquid all the way back to its ancient geological origins.
So what is this stuff really? Well, when we normally talk about natural humus in a beautiful old-growth forest or your backyard compost pile, we are talking about recently decomposed organic matter. We mean leaves, dead bugs, twigs, and roots that have broken down over a few months or maybe a few years. But here's the catch. Extracting true, liquid humic acid from fresh topsoil is incredibly costly, slow, and totally inefficient for commercial manufacturing. So where does the commercial stuff come from? Commercial humic substances are actually extracted from highly compressed, geologically ancient organic deposits. We're talking about materials like leonardite, lignite, which is a type of soft brown coal, and ancient deep peat bogs. Because these specific plant materials have been heavily compressed underground for millions and millions of years, their chemical structure is fundamentally structurally altered from the natural fresh humus you'd find in your backyard soil. On top of that, the commercial extraction processes, which almost always involve utilizing very harsh, highly alkaline chemical solutions, further alter these complex, ancient molecular systems. So the very first mystery solved today is this. The commercial product you are buying in that plastic jug is actually a highly concentrated, geologically ancient carbon derivative, not just fresh compost tea.
Moving on to Section 2, not a fertilizer. We really need to clear up a massive misconception right now. If you are going out and buying a $50 jug of liquid humic acid for its direct nutritional value, you are making a massive, fundamental agronomic mistake. Let me state this as firmly and clearly as I possibly can. Humic acid is absolutely not a fertilizer. It contains strictly zero direct nitrogen, zero phosphorus, and zero potassium. It has no NPK nutrient value whatsoever. You literally cannot use it to replace your traditional NPK fertilizer inputs. If you try, your plants will starve. Instead, scientifically speaking, humic acid is classified as a biostimulant and a biological soil conditioner. Its purpose is not to act as food for the plant itself, but rather to aggressively modify the surrounding soil chemistry. Think of it like this. It acts as a very powerful biological catalyst to unlock the food that is already trapped or present in your soil profile, converting those locked-up minerals into a highly bioavailable, plant-ready form. It manages the soil environment,
modifying the physical and chemical properties so the plant can feed itself vastly more efficiently. It doesn't feed the plant, it builds the perfect kitchen for the plant to cook its own meals.
Section 3. The nutrient magnet. Let's really look under the hood at the molecular chemistry making this happen.
Now, what's really genuinely interesting about this specific slide is where the magic actually happens. The sheer, incredible chemical reactivity of a humic acid molecule comes entirely down to its unique structure. These huge carbon chain molecules are incredibly densely packed with what chemists call functional groups. Specifically, we are talking about millions of carboxyl groups, which is a carbon bonded to oxygen and hydrogen, or COOH, and phenolic groups, which feature an OH arrangement. Now, why does this molecular jargon matter to someone just trying to grow better tomatoes or higher-yielding corn? Because when these specific functional groups hit the water in your soil, they dissociate. They break apart just slightly, and they leave behind polar ends that carry incredibly strong, highly reactive negative electrical charges. And as we all remember from high school physics, why does a negative electrical charge matter? Because opposites attract.
And that basic rule of physics brings us directly to one of the most important concepts in all of soil science, cation exchange capacity, which you'll usually hear referred to simply as CEC. You see, many of the most vital, absolutely essential plant nutrients are cations. That simply means they carry a positive electrical charge. We're talking about critical growth elements like calcium, magnesium, potassium, iron, and zinc. They're all positively charged. Now, if you are growing in sandy, heavily leaching, low CEC soils, there is literally nothing in that sand for these positive nutrients to hold on to. Sand is basically electrically dead. So when it rains heavily, or when you run your irrigation, all your expensive, carefully applied liquid fertilizers just wash right past the root zone and down into the groundwater. It's a massive waste of money. But when you treat that exact same sandy soil with humic acid, those massive, heavily negatively charged humic molecules step in and act as a giant nutrient magnet. They physically grab onto those positively charged cations through electrostatic bonding, holding them tightly right there in the root zone. They actively prevent the nutrients from washing away, but, and here's the genius part of biology, they keep them loosely held enough that the tiny plant roots can still strip them away and access them on demand.
But it actually gets even cooler than that. This electrostatic attraction builds into an even more advanced, incredibly vital biochemical trick known as natural chelation. This is absolutely critical if you are farming or gardening in high pH, highly alkaline soils. In these challenging, high pH environments, vital micronutrients, specifically heavy metals like iron and zinc, instantly react with the surrounding oxygen and water to form completely insoluble hydroxide precipitates. What does that mean? It means they literally turn into tiny, unusable, microscopic rocks floating in the soil. A plant cannot eat a rock. But humic molecules have a hydrophilic, or water-loving end, that is so flexible it can physically wrap itself entirely around these metal micronutrients, almost like a protective microscopic claw. This specific wrapping process is called chelation. By wrapping tightly around the iron and zinc molecules, the humic acid totally shields them from the harsh, alkaline soil environment. It actively prevents those useless, insoluble precipitates from forming and keeps these absolutely essential trace elements perfectly bioavailable so the roots can absorb them. However, I do want to objectively note here, as a scientist, more is not always better. The current scientific literature does show that if you apply extremely high, overly concentrated doses of humic acid, you can actually bind these heavy metals almost too tightly, which temporarily blocks the plant from uptaking them at all. So, like everything in agronomy, precision dosing is key.
Which perfectly segues into Section 4, cellular activation and stress. Let's move from soil chemistry directly into plant root physiology.
Okay, this right here is where the biology gets truly, deeply fascinating. When you apply humic acid, specifically the lower molecular weight fractions, these tiny humic molecules don't just sit in the dirt. They actually float up and physically interact with the root cell membranes of the plant. When they make contact with the cell wall, they act as a trigger, violently stimulating a specific enzyme called the H+ ATPase proton pump. You can think of this proton pump as the metabolic engine of the root cell. This intense stimulation forces protons directly out of the cell, dropping the pH right outside the root boundary and generating a massive electrochemical gradient across the membrane. This voltage gradient is incredibly powerful. It essentially forces the plant's membrane ion channels to open wide, drastically accelerating the co-transfer of nutrients directly from the soil into the cell interior. It's like pressing the gas pedal on nutrient absorption. Furthermore, all of this crazy cellular activation triggers a massive acceleration in root cell division. The plant responds by pushing out a literal explosion of millions of microscopic fine white root hairs, which dramatically, almost exponentially, increases the total surface area for water and nutrient absorption. And incredibly, it doesn't stop with just the plant. The complex organic carbon structures in humic acid serve as an elite, high-octane energy source, literally feeding the soil microbiome. It specifically stimulates beneficial, symbiotic fungi like mycorrhizae and feeds vital, incredibly helpful rhizobacteria like Bacillus and Pseudomonas. Once fed, these microbes go right to work mineralizing and unlocking even more bound-up nutrients for your plant. It's a totally self-feeding, symbiotic loop.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real-world, tangible application of all that microscopic cellular activation we just talked about. Let's look at this specific, highly controlled agronomic study. They focused on tomato seedlings that were subjected to incredibly severe intentional drought stress. Now, normally, severe drought utterly destroys plant cell membranes through something called oxidative stress, which permanently stunts the shoot growth and absolutely crushes the root weight. But in this study, the application of humic acid significantly, measurably increased the plant's natural drought resistance. The treated tomatoes showed vastly increased shoot fresh weight, dramatically increased relative water content inside the tissues, and significantly lower membrane ion leakage, meaning their cells didn't burst under the pressure. How? Well, at the molecular level, the humic acid literally interacted directly with the plant's underlying genetics. It specifically upregulated and increased the gene expression for CAT, a vital, deeply protective antioxidant enzyme that actively clears out the toxic reactive oxygen species caused by the severe drought. It's not just holding water in the dirt, it is actual, verifiable chemical priming for cellular survival.
And to further help the plant deal with that exact kind of drought, humic acid actually fundamentally alters the physical, tactile structure of the earth itself. The incredibly massive molecular chains of humic acid act a lot like a sticky biological glue in the soil. They physically bind loose, easily eroded sand particles and incredibly dense, compacted clay particles together into these beautiful, crumbly little clumps that agronomists call stable soil aggregates. This aggregation is everything. It creates vital microscopic pathways, or micropores, within the dense soil matrix. These tiny little pores are absolutely essential because they allow critical, life-saving oxygen to reach the deep roots, preventing them from suffocating. They also massively, almost unbelievably, improve water infiltration and deep retention. By holding up to literally 20 times its own molecular weight in pure water, humic-treated soil acts like a giant underground sponge. And having that underground sponge is absolutely critical for your crop's survival when you inevitably face periods of high environmental stress, blistering summer heat waves, or prolonged, nasty droughts.
So, let's talk business in Section 5, the ROI matrix. When does buying the stuff actually make financial sense?
Now, I want to be completely 100% transparent with you right now because building trust with you is vastly more important to me than hyping up a specific product. The reality is, humic acid yields an incredibly high return on investment only in specific, chemically challenging scenarios. If you are dealing with very sandy soils that leach out all your expensive fertilizers rapidly, or heavily compacted, dense clay soils that lack oxygen, or high pH alkaline soils that are locking up all your iron, or terribly degraded, over-tilled agricultural soils that have less than 2% active organic matter, then yes, absolutely. In those broken soils, adding a high-quality humic acid is quite literally like adding a turbocharger to a broken-down engine. You will see a massive, visible difference. However, if you are growing your tomatoes in incredibly rich, dark, beautiful homemade compost, or if your farm's soil tests already show 5 to 8% active soil organic matter, applying a commercial humic acid product is generally a very low ROI endeavor. In fact, it's often just a complete waste of your money. Why is that? Because a healthy, vibrant, compost-rich soil is already totally saturated with naturally occurring humic substances. Adding a tiny bit more of a bottled humic extract to a massive, already fully saturated ecological system simply will not yield any noticeable statistical increase in plant growth. The soil simply doesn't need it.
Moving on to Section 6, application myths and mistakes. If your soil does need it, you still have to apply it right.
The absolute most dangerous, frustrating pitfall out there is what I call the raw Leonardite trap. It happens every single season. Many well-meaning growers looking to save a little bit of money on their input costs will go online and buy cheap, raw, unactivated Leonardite powder or chunky granular ore in giant bulk sacks. They haul it out, spread it across their fields or toss it into their nursery pots, fully expecting the immediate crazy cellular results we just talked about. This is a critical, fundamental agronomic mistake. Let me be clear. Raw Leonardite ore is entirely insoluble in water. It literally will not dissolve. It is, structurally speaking, essentially just soft brown coal. If you apply raw, unactivated leonardite, it will simply sit there, utterly useless in the soil profile, without providing absolutely any immediate bioavailability to the plant roots. It relies entirely on extremely slow, agonizing microbial action and years of natural weathering to break down. We are talking about a process that takes years, sometimes decades, not days or weeks. You will absolutely not see the immediate HATPS cellular activation or the rapid trace nutrient chelation we discussed earlier if you fall into the raw leonardite trap.
So, the absolutely crucial, non-negotiable point here is this. You must ensure the product you are purchasing is fully activated. The scientifically correct solution is to strictly purchase highly soluble potassium humate. How is it made? Well, during the complex commercial manufacturing process, that useless raw leonardite ore is chemically reacted with a strong base, typically potassium hydroxide. This aggressive alkaline extraction process brutally strips away all the ancient rock impurities and leaves behind a highly concentrated, incredibly pure, fully water-soluble humic product. Because it is chemically pre-dissolved and totally water-soluble, potassium humate instantly, and I mean instantly, goes to work in the soil profile the very moment you apply it. It immediately begins binding to loose soil particles, actively opening up plant root ion channels, and chelating trace heavy minerals on day one. Whether you buy it as a thick liquid concentrate or a highly soluble, dry black flake that you mix yourself, potassium humate is the absolute gold standard for achieving fast-acting, measurable agronomic results.
But listen to me carefully, because with the incredible power of potassium humate comes a very strict, frankly dangerous chemical warning. If you run a massive commercial fertigation system, or honestly, even if you were just mixing up a few gallons of nutrients in a plastic bucket at home, you absolutely must pay attention to this rule. Never, under any circumstances whatsoever, mix highly concentrated potassium humate directly with highly concentrated calcium fertilizers, and I am particularly talking about calcium nitrate, in the exact same stock tank. Why? Because as we learned, humic acid is an insanely powerful chelator and holds a massive, overwhelmingly strong negative electrical charge. So when those free, positively charged calcium ions hit the water, they will instantly, violently bond with the negative humate molecules. In a fraction of a second, they will literally precipitate entirely out of the liquid solution. What you're left with is the sudden formation of a thick, heavy, completely unusable brown sludge known chemically as calcium humate. If this sudden chemical reaction happens inside your irrigation lines, it will completely, permanently clog your expensive drip tapes, totally plug up your microsprinkler heads, and completely ruin your injection equipment. It's a total disaster. So the rule of thumb? Always apply them completely separately, or highly diluted directly into the soil. Never ever mix them concentrated in the same tank. Which finally brings us to the ultimate verdict of our deep scientific investigation today. The peer-reviewed biochemical data is crystal clear. Humic acid is absolutely not just some hyped-up snake oil. It is a scientifically validated, incredibly biochemically powerful tool for genuinely unlocking your soil's hidden maximum potential. We know for a fact it heavily enhances cation exchange capacity, perfectly chelates complex micronutrients, aggressively stimulates the H+ ATPase proton pump in the roots, and massively mitigates environmental drought stress by literally physically improving soil aggregates. However, we also know the truth. It is merely a biological catalyst. It is absolutely not a magic wand that can fix fundamentally broken, lazy farming practices. It will never replace your crop's absolute baseline need for essential NPK nutrients, and it won't somehow fix a soil that is already perfectly rich in active organic matter. But when used correctly, in the exact right degraded soil environment, and in the highly soluble potassium humate chemical format, it is a truly brilliant, highly effective addition to elite agronomic management. So I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. Knowing exactly what you know right now about how microscopic cellular activation actually works and how negative electrostatic nutrient magnets fundamentally alter soil chemistry, what's your next move? Will you just continue trying to forcefully, inefficiently spoon-feed your crops with highly synthetic, highly leachable fertilizers that just wash away in the first big rain? Or are you finally ready to utilize advanced biochemistry to switch on the massive biological engine that is already hidden right there inside your soil? If this explainer actually helped you cut through the marketing noise and finally understand the hard, unforgiving science behind true soil health, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And definitely drop a comment down below letting me know exactly what complex soil science mystery we should investigate next. Until next time, keep questioning the labels and keep digging deeper.